We're edging towards a new year, closing out the curtain on 2025, edging closer to 2026. And I don't know about you, my friend, but I am really excited about the new year ahead. Now, I know that at the end of the year, everybody's like, yeah, new year resolution, new year, new me. This may be you, no judgment at all. However, the way I'm closing out 2025, and hopefully this is the case for you, it feels different. I don't know what it is, but it feels different. I'll talk about that on a different episode. But for this particular episode, I'm going to share with you how you can start planning for your podcast in 2026 in a way that protects your creativity, your energy, your lifestyle. Okay. I know that the end of the year, especially in December here in the US, because I know we got listeners from all over the world, but here in the US specifically, it gets a bit chaotic. Okay. Gets a bit chaotic over here. So I know this episode is going to be for creators who love podcasting, who have a platform, and they just don't have it all dialed in. They struggle with the process and getting everything dialed in. But if there's anything that I've learned in publishing 100 podcast episodes, which, by the way, head over to episode number 100, by the way. Shout out to everybody who gave me some love and thanks, DM me for celebrating our 100th episode. But, this is really important, and this is part of the creator process. And I think this is going to be some really, really good tips and some things that I want to share with you to help you plan your 2026 efficiently and effectively. And of course, happily, because we want you to be happy. This is not supposed to be stressful. There's stressful moments, yes, but this isn't supposed to be stressful. We're supposed to have fun and be in flow and be in rhythm. And this is what this podcast episode is all about. If this is your first time, let me digress a little bit, some housekeeping. If this is your first time checking out the podcast, welcome to Creator Factor. This is the podcast for business-minded creators who are looking to build their brand and business online. This is the spot. And again, this is your first time checking out. Welcome, 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 welcome. If you're a loyal fan, I got love for you. Ozeal, your host that loves you the most, has a lot of love for you. Okay. All right. So let me get back to this episode and focus because we're friends. Let me let you know where I'm at before I kind of get into the content. Okay. I'll make it very, very brief. I'm planning to take a break from the podcast with new content for the remaining December. Okay. I'm going to be sharing a best stuff series on the audio feed. So if you have not subscribed or followed the Creator Factor podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast, I highly encourage you to head over there now, after this episode, and make sure you follow the podcast, because I'll be doing some updates there. I'm going to be still rerunning new episodes on there. So be sure to check out. I'm going to hand select some of the best episodes of 2025 and put them on the feed. So make sure you check that out. And then on YouTube, I'm still going to be pumping out YouTube content. If you're following me, if you're on the audio, head over to YouTube at Ozeal. And I'm going to be doing some tweaks and rebranding. And that's the reason why I'm also taking a break, is because I'm trying to tweak. I'm not trying. I'm doing the tweaking, getting everything refined, ready for 2026, which is the reason why we're talking about this episode here, because this is what this is all about: making some tweaks, refining a few things, and getting ready for the new year ahead. All right. That being said, housekeeping done. Your podcast, your platform should not be stressful. It should fit your life. Okay? Your platform, your podcast should fit your life, not the other way around. If this is you, like you're treating, every week like a new project, if you feel like, weekly creation mode turns into stressful mode and you're feeling like, oh, the stress, and I'm like, got to do it again. Rinse and repeat, got to do it again. You are operating without rhythm. And no system means that you're operating with urgency each and every time. This has probably been the biggest takeaway, the biggest lesson that I learned this year specifically, is that, man, without having operating systems in place, it's just, you're not going to do the thing. That's going to lead to burnout. Another thing that I've learned and discovered and will share with you is when you're trying to match other creators' output, not yours, it doesn't, it takes you away from alignment. It's not part of your lifestyle. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people get caught up on is this whole comparison, because comparison makes you chase formats, it makes you chase trends and lifestyles that don't fit your capacity. So those are some really big lessons that right out the gate that I've learned. If you're treating every week as a weekly content creation rhythm, you're going to lose. If you're operating with no systems and processes on the back end, you're going to be on struggle bus. And if you're definitely trying to compare yourself with other creators that are operating on a whole different level, some of them have teams, you're going to burn out. Okay. So I'm going to share with you some shifts that are going to help you shift into a more mindful direction as you get into a new year of 2026. All right, here it is. Here's what I'm thinking, and this is what I've learned. Okay. Think in seasons, not weeks. Why seasons have helped me, and I believe they can help you, is that seasons, when you get in this mindset of batching once, especially for my fellow creators who are watching or listening that have full-time jobs, you have a lot of domestic obligations. I know we have a lot of creators in our community that are in that season. And the art of batching has been a game changer. But once you can dial that in and you can dedicate a theme, a season, a day, and this is all coming together on batching 2 to 3 episodes ahead of time, and you can front load your month, it changes the game. The benefits are just, that's the unlock. That is the key. If there's anything that I could teach, anything that's valuable to creators, is you got to batch. You got to batch, because a lot of creators like you, we're building businesses, right? And we got families and we got a lot of things going on in life, right? We're taking care of ourselves. We're doing all the things. And we wear a lot of hats. And it's important for us to be able to create smarter, not harder. So batching. The other thing is that, you get to build in breaks into your workflows. I think that's super important. Having those breaks, having those gaps in between, that allows you room to breathe in that space to be able to create from a place where you can be in rhythm, you can be in flow, and you can really lean into your creativity. So that seasonal approach, it allows you to take breaks, very much like what I'm doing now. Like, I'm practicing what I preach, telling you, my listener, our followers here on YouTube and on the podcast, this is what's going to happen. I'm keeping you in the loop. Why? Because I appreciate you, I value you, and I respect your time and your attention, and I respect the trust that we've built. So I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to let you know. And here's a news flash, even for creators that are operating on a high level. When I interviewed them, a lot of them will say, hey, your audience is forgiving. Like, as long as you communicate with your audience, it's a relationship. As long as you communicate, good. Having integrity, communicating that and saying, look, I'm going to take a break here. This is what I'm going to do. That's part of setting your boundaries. That's part of you taking control of your domain and leading that narrative, right? You got that. All right. So again, break time is important. And that's the reason why I love the idea of thinking of seasons rather than just on a weekly basis. The other thing that's really helpful in thinking in seasons is that you create with intention without the panic mode on, right? You're intentional about you create. And I feel like it's a little bit more strategic, more intentional planning, research. It's more focused and more dialed in. And I think that is another reason why I love the idea of thinking in seasons. So let me go ahead and put myself, let me get my coffee. Hold on one second. Let me put myself in this situation. What am I doing? Moving forward, taking you behind the scenes. So one of the things that I'm doing is moving forward in 2026. And I've already started the planning process, as you'll hear. Yeah, I'm still working through a few things, but this is what I know that I'll share with you, what to expect. In 2026, I'm going to be very intentional about YouTube. I'm going to prioritize YouTube. I'll go into maybe another episode. If you're curious, I can dig into why, but I'm going to prioritize YouTube as part of my content strategy. And I'm going to be doing one video per week on YouTube every Monday. And this would be a video that's going to be related to podcast branding, content strategy, podcast growth, that type of content. I'm really passionate about growth, brand building, and then a content strategy as it relates to like business and building, a business creator-led platform. So that's what I'm going to be doing. As you know, I'm going to be doing a best of series for the end of the month. I'm also, during this downtime, I'm going to be planning out my Q1. So everything from January to March, I'm going to start planning everything out. What does that look like? Being very clear about some of the themes that I want to talk on. I don't want to just have random episodes. I really want to be intentional about the themes that I bring on to each season. I've started with seasons and then I went into like episodic weekly shows. I still like that flow. However, I haven't decided yet. More on that later. Again, I'm not quite done with the planning. So I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do, if it's going to be seasonal on the podcast or am I going to just doing episodic. And the reason why is because I got other things that I'm managing. And so I don't know, but I do like the episodic approach. Again, more on that later. We'll see. But everything's going to be themed. Everything's going to be very, very intentional. I do have some interviews that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I'm going to be recording some interviews probably within the next week. And then in January, I have a few lined up. I do miss them. Somebody asked me on the newsletter, replied after my 100th episode. They were like, which one which format lights you up? And I do love the interviews. Like I do love having the conversations with other creators. I love it. I just love having the opportunity to chat with another creator who maybe I'm meeting for the first time. I love this whole idea of just having conversations. And I do feel like they're valuable. And I enjoy them. I really, really enjoy them. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of research and planning and scheduling. And those who do, podcast interviews, this. It's a lot of work, but I do miss it. So I'm going to figure out a way how I can dial that in where I could be very strategic, intentional. And it may just be maybe season 1 and maybe not season 2. We'll see. I'm going to figure that out. More on that later. But yeah, again, just being very clear about how I'm going to theme rather than just posting random episodes. And seasons turn your podcast from somebody was trying to call me. Seasons turn your podcast from a treadmill into a roadmap, and I do like that. It just makes things clear. Let me repeat that: seasons turn your podcast into a roadmap, and I find that to be true. I've done different formats, and I do feel like seasonal approach, especially for creators who are building their platform, I think makes total sense, right? So that's something that that I'm thinking moving forward. So hopefully that was helpful. Here's another thing too that I'm going to share with you about seasons, and I'm going to kind of dig into like how to actually plan 2026 in just 2 hours. Okay, and this is an exercise that I want you to do. Is pick a theme for Q1, and this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at my notes here. 15 minutes. Pick a theme. All right. So what are the content pillars? Is it going to be audience growth, branding, creativity, monetization? I think I told you my 3 core pillars, and I could probably add more. Is podcast growth, branding, podcast branding, and content strategy, like just business tips, mindset tips, etc. So those are going to be like the 3 pillars that I'm going to be sharing a lot on the podcast, but also more on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe. So that's step number 1. Pick the themes for Q1. Okay, I'm going to make it very, very simple. And I'm going to walk you down basically what I'm doing. Step number 2 is you want to do a brain dump of like 8 to 12 episodes. All right. Considering that if you're going to be doing 4 episodes a month, this should take you maybe 15 minutes. This is just raw and uncut. Just put it out there. It could be maybe a theme that you're going to go with 8 to 12 episodes, or you can break it up. But I like the idea of themes. Again, that's on you. But 15 minutes brain dump. And what I love about the brain dump here is that you'll naturally go and start putting out content ideas that you like, that are in you, that are just like in your core, that you just want to get out. So it'll give you like this good snapshot of what you're feeling at that point. Oh, again, brain dump, 8 to 12 episodes, right? Line it up, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 12. Dump it out, 15 minutes. Step 3, is you need to decide your publishing rhythm. All right, this should take, again, 10 minutes. Do you want to go weekly? Do you want to go bi-weekly? Do you want to go seasonal? Like really decide what you want to do. This is where I'm at right now. Still deciding, but this is what you need to do. And then step 4, is set your batching days for January. Like start setting like 1 hour blocks. I like 90 minutes. For some reason, 90 minutes is kind of like my sweet spot. It's 1.5 hours, break it down, and just put them in there, put them in there. If you want an hour, if you got an hour, hour minimum, but 60 to 90 minutes of just batching. And depending on your systems, and we're going to work through that and your workflows, you can potentially knock out, at least 2 to 3, at least 2 episodes during that block, but maybe even more. And maybe you need to set up another blocking hour, but even once a week. I have a friend who does he'll block out 4 hours and he'll knock out 8 episodes. Insane. You don't have to do that. That's just his workflow. And he's gotten into a cadence and he has the systems dialed in where he could do that. But in the beginning, 90 minutes, just record at least 2 episodes and see what happens. But you're an episode ahead. And then after that, you'll just continue building reps. And then you can either add on to the block or see if you can pump out 4 pieces of content within the 90 minute block. It's a lot, but it can be done depending on how long your episodes are. So that's step number 4. Step number 5, remove anything that drains you. Okay? Anything that drains you. What am I talking about? Okay. Look, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Give yourself permission to say no. Give yourself permission to say no to guests, to video editing, to weekly publishing if it doesn't fit your style. Let me reframe that. Say no to guests that are not aligned with your podcast or where you're at in that season. Say no to editing or doing things that are not in your wheelhouse unless you really enjoy it. And say no to publishing crazy amount of content if it doesn't fit your lifestyle. That's it. I think so many people get caught up in that. And this has been a game changer for me. I get a lot of guest pitches for the show. I can tell you every week, every other day. Editing is not really my forte, as you guys know. I pretty much, just will do a little bit of light editing and put it on YouTube. I do want to get better at it for sure with my YouTube content. I want to get a little bit more dangerous with it, but it's something that I will ultimately outsource, not right now. So please don't pitch me. And then publishing, you just got to get real with your publishing. What's going to fit your lifestyle? I got a busy life right now. And I got to figure out something that's going to be more towards my lifestyle versus trying to do it all. Okay. So again, this is huge. If it doesn't light you up, if it drains your energy, move on. Okay. Step number 6 is, this is huge, y'all. This is huge. Please make time for your creative reset. Have your creator recovery week. Just came up with that. That might be like a whole playlist. Just different exercises and tips on Creator Recovery Week. Non-negotiable. What do I mean? Everybody's life is different. Your life is different than mine. And you have to find something that's going to be helpful in regards to your creativity reset. The thing that's going to help you just say, hey, I'm going to just chill out here, And I think that's where this thinking of seasons works. Right? It's just thinking of okay, I need a reset. It's important. Have time for yourself. This is really, really hard. Those who know me know that it's hard for me to unplug. I feel like I'm always working on something. It's just the way my brain works. And, but it's important to have that recovery time. Okay. Build that into your week. And here's another real talk reminder here from you, my fellow creator. It's okay to pause. Let me repeat that. It's okay to pause. I think it's important for us to be able to connect emotionally, spiritually. I think a lot of creators get too caught up in this feeling of guilt and shame and feeling like pausing is quitting. It's not quitting. You're allowed to rest. I heard somewhere that rest is the best form of productivity. I was like, ooh, rest is the best form of productivity. And I believe that your audience cares more about your clarity, about your mental health, than your consistency. They would respect and appreciate that, right? So it's okay to pause. And that's the reason why, I'm pausing and taking a little break for December. The next few weeks, I have masterminding, I got planning, I got some goals that I'm dialing in. I'm recording content, I'm thinking of the YouTube strategy, the business, in addition to like family things that happen here in the US in December. So it's okay to press pause. That's you have permission to press pause. So hopefully this was helpful. I just wanted to keep it real with you and just, share where I'm at for the month of December as it relates to the Creator Factor podcast. Let me know, shoot me a DM at the real Ozeal or just tag me. I'm here for you. There's some things that I'm going to be providing for you in 2026, potentially some community events, some things that I'm working on. And again, that's part of the planning, but can't plan if I'm like in this constant wheel, right? So that's why I wanted to record this episode. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully this is some tips on helping you just plan for your year, and you can go back, rewind, and I'll take some notes and I'll share this, PDF if you want. If anybody wants to share the breakdown, I'm here for that as well. And I'm also here for helping creators, plan sustainable shows for 2026. So if you want clarity, you can book a podcast clarity call. I do have like a 15-minute podcast discovery call that if you want to book me, just to jump on, and I would love to help you hear about your goals, and if it makes sense for us to work together in 2026. I do have a few coaching packages only. 5 that are working with me for the whole year. So if you're interested in those, you can always reach out to me. I'll make sure that I link up my email in the show notes. And that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. And again, just thank you again for being a part of this Creator Factor journey, for supporting the podcast. And make sure you subscribe to the audio feed for the best of. This has been fun. I'm excited to pump out new content in 2026 on the show with the video podcast. I'm going to be doubling down on that, and in seasons, we'll see. And I'll keep you posted. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. I'm going to be really focused on the newsletter. So that would be my call to action. Join the newsletter. There's going to be some changes there. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the comments on YouTube. I will be publishing a new YouTube video next Monday, so be on the lookout for that. And thanks again for your love and support. Till next time, peace and Happy New Year. I'll be back before then, but I'll see you soon. Peace.